Okay, so this week we are going to be talking about, as every week, the National Wake Up Call, except let me go ahead and mention this. Next week I will be on vacation, and Lindsay Coons has offered to lead the call, and I'm super excited about what she plans to talk to you all about. So make sure that you don't miss that call. Bears awake. Make sure that you don't miss that call. It's going to be super valuable, and you want to be on. And yeah, just please be there for that. It'll be same time, same place, Zoom, same link. Well, it may be a different link. She may send a different link, but she'll send that in the group text and the Facebook page. So, well, we are talking about this week's National Wake Up Call. Sarah Lenore's. I don't know if this was the exact title of the call, but the main idea I got from it was, this creating structure in the chaos, especially for new coaches. She described running around frantically like a cat, basically, and I love that image. So we're going to talk about that, but real quick, let's go over a few announcements. Just a reminder, I will be doing a coffee and coaching business webinar on April 21st. That is next Saturday around 9 o'clock in the morning. Go ahead and add your coaches or your potential coaches. Really, you should be inviting almost all of your challengers to these. So invite them to the coaching sneak peek group. Get them in there for that. Reassure them that even if they can't make it live, they can watch the replay later. There are some coach stories in that group already, so they can kind of browse and get to know some coaches on our team. If you do not have a video on there and you want one, please chat with me about that. You can totally go live anytime between now and next Saturday and just share your story, especially if you're inviting people to that group. It'd be good for you to have a story there. So it's not complicated at all. New announcement, starting April 30th. So the coffee and coaching is on a Saturday. Not the next Monday, but a week and a few days, we will start the Business Starter Academy. Some of you have completed that. Some of you have started it, but have not finished. So this will be for all current coaches, as well as any new coaches that sign up on the 21st. And I will make it very clear on the 21st that this is why now is a great time for them to join our team, join your team, so that they can get their new coach basics done, get started right call with one of us, and then join that Business Starter Academy. All of the content for that academy is on my website, and I'll just be, running a group text through WhatsApp for anyone who wants to complete that, and the expectation will be that it get completed in 2 weeks. So it's about 10 days worth of training. So we'll do 5 days a week, and you can catch up on the weekends if you need to. So that is the plan for that. Okay, just another glance. I put this on our Facebook page, but this is my plan for unfolding the 2B mindset. I'm running a free water challenge group right now. The content for that is on our team drive. Anyone can access it and use it. I will be running a free vegetable challenge group starting the 23rd. Content for that will be coming soon. May 2nd is when the coach test group starts with Ilana, the creator of the program. May 14th is when actual challengers who are not coaches can start. And we will be running a Facebook challenge group. Whoever wants to compile and help me do that, would love to have you do that. You can add your challengers to it. It's going to be totally run on Facebook. So let me know if you have any questions about that. Just a little recognition for April thus far. Several people have already been actively helping others, and so just wanted to recognize everyone there. A couple of people already in Success Club, so that's exciting. But yeah, well done. Keep it up. Keep pushing. Lindsay and I were talking earlier this week, and it is very, very true that the activity normally that you do now is what will bear fruit next month and the following month. So just keep that in mind. Don't reach your goal and then let off the gas, because that momentum is very, very important. So we have been talking some on the team page about finding your brand, which will help you talk to your target market a little more. I think it's fascinating that so many of us have very similar advantages, I think is what Sally Hogshead calls them. So just make sure that you watch the posted Zoom call that I did earlier this week with like basically how to implement this information that you got on the quiz. So very, very helpful stuff for me. Okay, so let's jump into the meat of the National Wake Up Call. And I wanted to start by asking this question that Sarah asked us. Am I treating my business like a business? And I think someone even said on the Super Sunday meeting something very similar, like whatever you're making in your business is a direct reflection of the effort you're putting in. Like Nick's doing taxes. Whatever you're making is exactly what you deserve to be making based on what you're doing. And so for me, that was a good, like, I don't want you to hear that and be defeated by any means. Let it push you, let it challenge you. If you have goals to be making a more substantial income, then maybe something in your business activity needs to change. But just in the context of this call, you know, I liked this distinction she made of the difference between coaching as a lifestyle versus a traditional corporate job in America. She said she had to make this mindset shift of understanding that coaching is more of a lifestyle than something she needed to just endure like she would a regular day job. And it was once she kind of embraced that and settled down a little bit into it, it became much more enjoyable. And so she just listed off a few things, like she realized, okay, I need to learn different personality styles. I'm working with a lot of different people. I'm going to do personality quizzes. You know, a lot of you, especially newer coaches, know that I do the gym personality. It's not necessarily a test, but I just kind of show a graphic in my About You form, and I want to know just which gym personality you are. It tells me a little bit more about you. It lets me know what motivates you. It lets me know what drives you. So I would encourage you to do that with your coaches and even your challengers. That's a great way to know how to motivate your challengers. Know when to turn off notifications. We'll talk some more about that in a little bit. Let go of the fear of missing out. I know early on in my business, it was very, very tempting to think I had to be attached to my phone, because what if that one person who's been so close actually does decide to buy a challenge pack? Like, I don't want to miss it, and I don't want to miss like them being ready. And so I think it's helpful for us to recognize this fear of missing out and understand that it's not going to change anything other than us feeling less frazzled and scattered. Another point she made was adapting to all the social media changes. I wish with all of my heart that social media was not ever changing, but it is. And it's just something we have to embrace and be flexible with. I think that was another takeaway I had from the Super Sunday meeting. They had a lot of coaches up on stage who have been in the business for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, like for a while. And several of them said, you know, I'm struggling right now. And it's because I'm struggling with changing and adapting to how things are functioning. And so I think that's a good lesson we can all learn from. The longer we're in this business, the longer we have to be open to making changes and adapting, and not just saying, well, it used to work this way. Why isn't it working that way now? We also have to learn how to deal with unsupportive family and friends. That's a hard one, but it has been my experience and several of yours, you know, as well. It's hard, but we need to learn how to talk to those people and how maybe to bless and release. And And then just sorting through our daily to-do list. That's challenging, especially when we have to weigh how much time do I have to commit to this and which activities should I be doing in the time allotted. So she gave us these best practices for creating structure in the chaos. And it's nothing that you probably haven't heard before, but I think it's good reminders for all of us. The first one was set business hours. Even if it's pockets of time, the more we can stick to setting business hours, the better. Having a designated office space. This is not something that I have, as far as I don't have a room in my house. I don't have a desk in my house, but my designated office space is this kitchen table. And when I sit down to work with my computer, with my notebook, like I know exactly where I'm going to put it all. I'm going to have my coffee there. I'm going to have my water there. Or at the end of the day, I'm going to have my tea. And whenever it's time to stop working, I close my computer, I put it on top of my notebook, and I put it in a drawer. So it's put away from everything. And so whatever your situation is, it is good to have a designated office space. For me, it's very helpful to work primarily from my computer. Obviously, with Instagram stories and messaging people on Instagram, we have to do that on our phone. But I always start and stop on my computer, and I have my phone there only for the things that I cannot do on my computer. That helps with tracking if I'm tracking on my computer. And it just helps with this mindset of I'm working, I close the laptop, I'm done working. She talked about her work allotment, the 80-20 rule. She said, whatever time I do have, and I think this is very, very applicable, no matter how far along you are in your business, no matter how much time you have. I know for me, the amount of time I have each day even varies. It's not steady every single day. But following this 80-20 rule of whatever time I do have, 80% of that goes to growing my business first. And then the remaining 20% goes to coaching my team, growing my team. So I think that's very valuable, especially as your team begins to grow. I know I fell into this. It can become very, very, it is exciting. And if you're anything like me, that will become the part that you love the most. I love our team. I love investing in each of y'all. And I could just talk to you all day long. I could create systems and, all sorts of things for you. And I just enjoy that stuff. But if I focus too much on that and not recognizing that you are all your own CEOs and you all have to do, you have to take initiative as well. And I can't be holding anyone's hand, but rather just doing 20% of my time to help coach y'all and help mentor you and be there to help guide you in any way. If I'm only focusing on that and not my business, my business will not grow. And I saw the effects of that some last year because I got excited about my team and began focusing so much on that I neglected the other. So make sure you follow that work allotment rule. And really, I've heard that until you become like a superstar diamond, only then do those percentages begin to shift a little bit. So it's for 99.9% of us, we need to follow this 80-20 rule. Another thing she mentioned for best practices is having a posting content plan. We have talked about that. I've shown mine to you, the marketing plan that I have in the business planner. It's good to have some sort of idea of what you're going to post so that you're not scrambling last minute, which oftentimes makes us feel frazzled. It makes us feel like we can't be present with our families, like we can't, I don't know, like if I don't know what to post, I feel like it'll take me 2 hours to figure it out. Like if it's in the evening time when I need to be posting, it's always good to have some sort of an idea and to try and draft those ahead of time if possible. She mentioned having hired help. That is something that obviously depends on, your income. And for a lot of us, we can't afford that early on. For most coaches, they don't start out with hired help necessarily. She gave the example, and it's the same example for us. When I started, I had to learn how to work before the boys woke up and when they took a nap and after they went to bed at night. Like I had to just figure it out. But now we've been able this past year to afford to put them in a preschool for 2 days a week from 9 to 2. We've been able to afford, because of my business, to allow them to go to the kid, like childcare at Nick's gym, the other 3 or 4 days of the week, so that I get 2 hours to work on each of those days. That's all because I focused on building my business with the time that I had for a year and a half, and then was able to take those baby steps. I would love eventually, especially if our family grows, I would love to be able to hire a nanny to come in for a couple of hours, just so that I could knock out my work and then be done with it and be mom for the rest of the day. But we do what we can with what we have, and we set goals, even financial goals, so that we can be more present where we are. And, she gave the example of hiring a digital assistant. A lot of people do that, stuff like scheduling posts in your challenge group. Like, coaches will write out all their posts, but then they hire a digital assistant to actually schedule the stuff and just do all the administrative work that, as Sarah put it, doesn't need our personality necessarily. Maybe it's hiring a cleaner. I would love to do that one day too, mainly just because I don't enjoy cleaning. But just as a CEO of our own business, I don't want you to read that and think, well, yeah, it must be nice to be able to afford all those things. No, you need to see this as, this is a business and I should be working towards that. And it's very possible for me to work towards that, and to even make that sacrifice of paying, hiring help eventually, maybe, and letting go of some luxuries that I would spend that money on in order to continue growing my business so that we have a little more stability. So it's just my opinion on all that. She also gave the tip, and I've heard this before but had forgotten it, to listen to books on Audible at the 2 speed. That speeds it up and you get through the book way quicker, so you just make more efficient use of your time, and you still get all of the content that you're listening to. Obviously, sending voice messages, Voxer messages, our WhatsApp group text, any of those voice messages that we send and communicating with people, it saves us time, and it more accurately communicates our tone, our heart, our emotions whenever we're sending a message. So I know I need to be reminded sometimes. I just forget sometimes that it's there when I'm talking to challengers or potential customers. And the more we can send those voice messages, the better. It does save time. Notification control. Y'all know I'm big on this one because I should have implemented this way before I did. And I would have saved myself a lot of stress and a lot of anxiety if I had turned my notifications off way, way sooner. So, she mentioned turning her phone to do not disturb so that she's not interrupted while she's working, but then also putting work away and not getting messages sent directly to your phone. You will never hear me tell you that you need to have all of your notifications set to push notifications so that you are getting every single thing. Not even from me, not from our team. You need to create boundaries that work for you in your life, or else you will get burnt out and you will want to quit. And that's not anyone's desire. I don't feel like that's the Lord's design for anything we're doing. We need to be able to unplug and create boundaries. So make sure you're doing that. And then lastly, working against a clock. This is something I've done only since January in my business, and it has been a game changer for me. Setting a timer, set time limits for each task. Obviously, I do this through my connection builder because the timer's built in, but you can do it on your phone. It's get a little timer that yells at you whenever you finish. Just look at the time you have, look at that 80-20 work allotment, and do the best you can to work against the clock. It will keep you much more focused. So, how do you sustain this? Jeff asked Sarah this question, and I just pretty much wrote her thoughts down on here. I thought this was really good. She said, creating this structured chaos creates discipline in our business. And we'll see, just like with our nutrition, just like with our fitness, we will see small wins and have sustainable growth along the way. The idea is slow and steady. she said, you know, each month she evaluates how the last month went. And if she did hit her goals, she just rinses, washes, and repeats. If she did not, she makes changes. You should constantly be evaluating your own business that way too. She said when it comes to teaching her team, she looks at how they're organizing their time, and she can identify the changes they need to make. That needs to be on your radar as you're adding people to your team. Like, you want to be available to speak into how they're spending their time as well. Offer that. Most of your coaches won't necessarily come to you and say, well, you look at my day and see how I need to change things, but you need to be proactive in saying, let me see your business hours. Like, let me see how you're spending your time so that I can help identify if you need to make some changes. Modify your power pockets, you know, improve your confidence. She just gave all these little tips. And then again, just thinking through what is income producing versus what you can hire out and have help with. So those were just some really, really great tips. I thought, good reminders for me.